Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Today, I thought I would take you along with me as I create my fall journal. Now, this is going to be in addition to my little art journal that we've been working on. But I always do a fall journal because, it's just a regular journal, and I love, love, love to work in a regular journal. So, and it's made out of this lovely Reader's Digest journal that I had. There's the spine. As you can see, I had to cut the spine off. Now, if you remember from the last Reader's Digest journal that we created, I had a problem with it tearing. And I'm going to show you down here at the bottom where this started tearing. See it down here? And it wasn't torn a lot. But then I noticed the more I started working with the book, the more this started tearing down here. So I thought, okay, stop, put the brakes on. Before we go any further, we're going to take care of this. Because the last time, I didn't notice it. The last time I created the entire journal, and about the time I got finished with it, I noticed that this was so weak that it was starting to really tear, and I had to take the whole journal apart and recreate the spine, which was like really, really creepy. So since I noticed it, I'm going to go on and take it apart, and I'm going to clean this while I can. Right here. That's where the little price sticker was. Get that off. And I'm just going to run this little baby wipe over it to get any little pieces of dirt and stuff. Now, I'm not going to, take care of any of the little nicks or anything like that. I like those, but I don't want that to tear anymore. So what I did was I cut a piece of it's bookboard. Now it's really thin bookboard. It's just a little bit thicker than probably a cereal box. So you can see it's really thin. It's just a little bit thicker than the actual spine itself. But I'm going to glue it on the back of this. And what that'll do is that'll support this all the way up and down. And then I can add my actual interior spine that I created. Now I want this to be a hidden spine, which was really important that this was strong enough to hold on to it. So with this here, then I can decorate, add my signatures, and then add this. It should be strong enough. So let's get this added. Now to glue this down, I'm using my pH neutral PVA glue, and that's perfect for this. So I'm going to glue it down, get it under this, my little bag, get a heavy book on it, set it aside, and then I'm going to get my signatures sewn in, and then we are going to go from there. So let's get this on here. Now the important thing, if you ever run across a book like this and you look at it, and Reader's Digest are really common for this because people stored them in all kinds of different places. And I'll show you the book block. It's right here. And some of the pages are in my signatures. They're really yellow. The book itself, I think I'll have to look at one of the pages, but they're really yellow. So I can tell that this book was not stored properly. How I would have stored books. So let me see if I can find the page that tells me. It's just from 1979. Now, I say just from 1979. I remember 1979. I was alive in 1979. Alive and kicking in 1979 and having a good time. But some of you might not have been. So, and if you remember 1979, let me know. Heck, I graduated high school. Oh, I just aged myself. Darn. Oh, well, I don't care. Age is just a number. Does not matter to me at all. Okay, so I made sure to get the glue all the way to my ends because I want to make sure that they're covered. And I want to make sure, there we go. I want to make sure that everything is going to stick well. Well, it's sticking well, all right, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Now, let's wipe this off because I don't want this glue on the front of this. So let's get this wiped off. There we go. And I'm actually going to turn it. I'm going to open it up because I want to be able to close it after I get it on there. Oh, well, that's a mess, isn't it? Well, I'll have to wipe that off too. So I'm going to line it up, top and bottom, just like that. Now, I really like PVH glue when I make books because it sticks quickly and it dries quickly. And when it dries, it dries. You're not moving it out of place. All right, let me get this glue off of my hands. And let me get my thing here. Okay. Get this and wipe off my edges. Because I don't want it sticking out my edges. Now, I can trim any of that book board that's showing once it gets dried. See, you can see it here. I can trim that book board once it dries, but I want to make sure I don't have any glue on the actual spine because once it's on there, it's on there. I'm not getting it off. Okay, so let's get that off and let's get that scooted down and make sure that's going to lay flat. Now, let me grab a paper towel to make sure everything's dry. All right, now I'm going to cover it with the other half of this. I'm going to like make a little sandwich like that. My Google's talking to me and it's in the complete other room, so I don't know who she's talking to. Silly thing. Just like that. Perfect. I'm telling you, they listen. They listen to you, people. And then I'm going to cover it up. And I'm going to set it over here to my side. And I'm going to put this heavy book on it. Just like that. And put that away. And I'm going to let her sit there for a minute. Just like that. And then I'm going to take this. Maybe try and clean that off a little bit. Just make sure I don't have any dirt on here that I don't want. Now I'm not scrubbing, I'm just taking this and lightly going across it. Because I don't want to take any of this hue. And as you can see, there is some dirt on it. There's always going to be dirt on them. There we go. And I'm just going to let them sit. And I'm going to throw that one away. Dry these off. Okay. Okay, so this still has a fly page in it, but I'm just going to leave it there. Now, this is why I picked this book out. Let me show you the colors on the inside. Beautiful fall colors. You know, actually, I'm going to take this and I'm going to clean off the inside of this. If you have a bottle this size of this glue, I highly recommend that you keep this flip top clean. Otherwise, it will glue itself shut. Ask me how I know that. And it is a bear to get open. Okay. Now, I'm going to put these aside. Now, we're going to sew our signatures into this. And as you can see, these holes are the larger holes. And I used my little crocodile. Just my little one. I didn't get out the big one. I used my smaller one. And I used my 3/16 inch hole. And I just held it in my hand. And I just went like this. And I marked it. I did mark it, but I marked it on the back. You can see my markings on the back. And I just lined them up in the hole like that. And it will reach to the center. And depending on how wide of a spine you have, it could reach all the way across. But it reached. Good heavens. I could get the first hole in the center hole, and then I had to flip it around and do the other side. So if you don't have the big one, the great big one, you can punch your holes like this with your handheld one. And it makes it quite easy to do. If you have one of these, you can punch your holes in your spine like this. So I did want to tell you that. So now we're going to sew in our signatures. Now I already have my signatures in the order I want. I just need to make sure I have my spine going in the right order. And I punched a number at the top to remind me. So that number at the top reminds me which way is top. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. Now, I could go like this, and that would remind me too, but I forgot to do that initially. Now, I punched on my pages with my awl. All of my pages I marked as I normally do. You all have seen me do this 100 times. And I used my awl on my pages. So, my box is right here. So I'm going to put my awl away, and I'm going to, now since I'm not going to see what I sew with outside my book, I can sew them on the inside with anything I choose. I could use yarn, I can use fabric, or I can use my thread. And I want to just use my thread for this. But I want to use this thread, my green thread, because, well, it's fall. And so I'm going to use my green thread. Now, it's not as heavily waxed as my other threads are. Now, I also have a black and a blue, but I want to use my green. Now, I also have these, but I want to use my green. So I'm going to use my green, and hopefully I have enough of it. I should have pre-measured it, but we're going to see. Now, it's the same type of thread, and I just need to get out my needle here. Let me get a hold of it. There it is. Let's put the cap on there. So, it's got wax inside of it, which will be good. So I should have enough. It looks like I'm going to have enough. And you all have seen me sew my signatures in here enough. So, whoops, I apologize for that. So there's one. So let's go on and cut all of the thread we're going to need. But for any of you that have never seen signatures thrown in, or if you're just new to my channel and you're just popping by to say hi, great big Heidi ho to you. And for all of my new subscribers, while I was away healing with my knee, I want to welcome you personally. I'm so happy that you're here. You know, creators on YouTube get a monthly update of their channel. And while I was away, I kept getting these updates saying I had new subscribers, and I kept thinking, huh, that's interesting. I haven't put a new video out in a couple of weeks. Well, my dear sweet friend Amy had a post, and she said, you need to go see her. Well, she was very kindly promoting our channel. So that brought in, okay, this is number 3. So that brought in 4 new ones. And then just people just passing by because of them, a couple of more people dropped in. So we have, between July and today, I can't sew and talk. So between July and today, we have 11 new subscribers. So those 11 new subscribers between July 31st and today, I want to welcome you personally. A great big Heidi Ho and a ladybug wiggle. I'm so glad you're here with us, and I hope you've taken some time and started watching videos and create, because there are plenty of videos out there. There are over 300 of them on the channel, and I hope you've taken time to watch some of them and create some fun videos, because there are plenty for you to watch. And as always, you are welcome to send me some any questions that you have. If you have a question on any of them, I'm always here to answer for you. Even if it's just a hi. I love ants. I love when subscribers just say hi. I saw your video and I liked it. Or, hey, that didn't make sense. Okay, so one signature is in. Let me make sure it's tight. You all know I'm not the most coordinated person in the world. All right, so I'm going to walk you through the next one so you can see what it is I'm doing. All right, there's one. Okay, to sew in a signature, you want to thread your needle, and you don't want your needle to be a sharp needle. You want it to be blunt. My needle is not sharp. It's a blunt-ended needle, and it has a fairly substantial eye to it, and that allows my thread to move easily, so I can use any kind of thread that I choose. Now, if I was using a larger thread, like yarn, I would definitely have to use one of my larger eyed needles. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the center hole, and I'm also going through the center hole of my spine. And then if it was attached to my book, I would also take it through my book, okay? And then you're going to pull it through, and you're going to leave yourself a tail. And you're going to hold on to that tail with the thumb of your opposite hand. Now, I go through the bottom. That's just automatically what I do. That was what I was taught, so that's automatically what I do. You can go through the top if you choose. Totally up to you. You pull your thread through, and then you go through the opposite hole. For me, that's the top. You go all the way through the spine, as well as the signature, and you pull it through. And you want to make sure it goes all the way, okay? And you always want to check and make sure that you're going through the right set of holes. Now you're going to come back to the center. And this is called the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And you're going to take your needle right back through. And you want it to come up on the opposite side. If it doesn't, don't panic. See, mine isn't, so I'm just going to scooch it around till it does. Okay, now you want these to be even, and as you can tell, mine are not. So you just tug on your papers or on your thread, and you make them even, okay? You just make them even. So what I do is I get a hold of my threads, and I hold them even, and I just tug either at the top or the bottom until they're even. And then I tug out. Now, you have to be gentle when you are tugging. You don't want to tear your threads or your holes. You want them to stay nice, but you want your thread to get tight. Okay, listen. Okay, that's what you want it to sound like. Before you tie your thread, check. Is it in the right hole all the way up and down? If not, take it out and do it again. And if you tie it and then realize it's in the wrong hole, it's no big deal. Just cut it out and cut yourself a new piece of thread. Now, tie it in a knot, right over left, left over right, and you're done. Take off your paper clips or your clamps or whatever you're using. You can leave it hang and add charms or beads, or you can cut it off. Now, I'll end up cutting mine off, but I leave it until I'm finished. And now my last one. I'm going to do the same thing on my last one. Okay? It's just a process of repetitive sewing. No matter how many you have, you do the same thing all the way through the book. Okay? Right there. Now, you're probably asking, why does this one look different? Well, this is an original page from the book, and this is an original page from the book. And the pages are so thin and brittle that I added a piece of fabric right here to help strengthen this seam, so that it wouldn't, when I sewed it into my journal, that it wouldn't crack and fall apart, because I knew it would. So, excuse me, I'm getting the hiccups. Hold on a second. Okay, I think it's gone. So this fabric is to help it not break and brittle. Now, you can also use things like washi tape or cotton fabric. This is sari fabric, and it's there to join those two pages. So you can join pages if you have a page that you really like, but maybe it's not big enough or it's not going the right way to fit in your book. And you want to attach it. Now I'm looking for my hole. This one is really hard because it's hard to see through that ribbon. There it is. It's then you can join them together, and you do that before you put them in your book. And I'll show you guys how to do that at another time. Okay, for any of you that are new or beginners, would a video on terminology help any of you guys? because I know sometimes as beginners, it's difficult knowing what all the terminology means. Or do you prefer me just including it in the videos like I normally do? You know, telling you what it means as I go along. So you tell me what you prefer. Do you want me to do a video that says this is what it means? Or do you want me to say this is a specific video on beginner terminology? I had one of those videos planned for earlier, but I wasn't able to do it. So it is not in my October plan, but if you all would like it, I can do one. Okay, so I need to put that away. Okay, our signatures are all sewn in. Okay, I can tell you quickly that your signatures are the group of papers that make your book. Each one of these things that I just sewed in are called signatures, okay? These are called signatures right here. So, that's a signature. All right, so this is your spine right here. The spine is what holds your book together. All right, so let's put these away, out of our way. There we go. Now, let's put this away, and we are going to get our spine that we glued up. Okay, right here. There we go. And we're going to trim right here. Ah, very nice. Now, I would like to keep this on the outside, but I need to figure out how to do that. Now, let me do some trimming here. All right. Yeah, this might not work since I cut it off. You have to now attach it on the inside and the outside. And to attach it on the outside, I'm going to end up covering this up, and I don't want to cover it up, I want to use it. So, okay, where am I missing here? Where am I missing? Oh, right there is where I'm missing. Right there. Okay. Now, this now let's make sure everything is facing the right direction. Goes like that and like that. Okay. Let me make sure you guys can see everything. Okay, you can. Okay, so make sure this is all going up and down. All right, this goes this way. Let me put this on the big one. Let's line it up. Now, I think this paper is going to be quite helpful because I can use it to join right here. To give it some strength, possibly. I don't want it, so let's go on and take this off. I need this right up against the book board. What we got here? Okay, let me trim that. Hold on here, I've got glue. I'm gonna go off camera here and get this glue cut off that's stuck on here. Hold on a second. Okay, here is what I did. I cut another piece of that board that we glued to the spine. And I attached it, yeah, perfect, on the inside. Okay, so now my book has a spine. And then I'm going to attach this on the outside, like that. Okay, because to do that, I would have had to interrupt this on the inside, and I didn't want to do that. Because I need to have the strength, where did I, here, to add these, and that wasn't strong enough. So now I need to trim this tape. Now the tape I used, and I will show you here in just a second. I need to trim this. The tape I used is my clear duct tape that, there it is. Let me show it to you. It's just clear. Can you see it there? It's just clear duct tape. Okay. and don't attach it to the book. Attach it to what you're making your spine with. And then come in and lay this down and attach this to it, okay? That way you don't get it coppadoodled and have everything going every which way, because I've done that before. That was why I didn't bring you on camera as I did it, because you need to pay attention to what you're doing, and I can't talk and do it at the same time. Okay, so it's attached. So now I can decorate here before I put this down. And then at the end of the video, we can glue this on the outside like that. And it's not just this lone little piece trying to hold up this massive weight. Okay? So on this here, I want to add some of this, and I want to add a piece of our stamped fabric that we've been doing. And this is just fabric that when I have ink left on my stampers, that I just stamp on. That's all it is. It's just cotton fabric, and oh, you know what? Maybe not. Let's see. Do I have enough of this left? But what I was saying is that this is just cotton fabric, and when I have fabric ink left on my stampers or my cubes, I just use this fabric to clean it up. Okay, now I have another little piece of that. Oh, that's the little piece of it. Okay. Oops, knocking everything on the floor here. Okay, so I think I want to tear little pieces off of this. Because this color is in the little berries on here. So I think I want to put that piece there, and then I think I have enough, yeah, to put another piece up here. Except I think I'll move, let's do this. Let me throw that piece away. Hold on a second here, guys. I need to sit down. That's better. There. Okay, I want that to stick up there a little bit. Now, this piece. Now, what I'm doing is I'm just taking my fingers and I'm just, you know, pulling the ends like this, you know, kind of making it a little ragged and like that. And then since this is the bottom area, I want to put that's out a little bit too far. There, like that. Now, we'll glue that down. And I'm not going to glue down the sides, but I will glue down the middle. I wonder if this will glue on plastic. I don't think it will. But I know something that will. This will. Pretty sure this does. Okay, I'm just going to use my Scotch tacky glue because I know it glues on plastic. And I'm just going to put, since I don't have to poke anything through here, okay. Doesn't matter if it comes through. I'm not worried about that. Not worried about it at all. Come through if it wants to. Because in a minute I'm going to have all kinds of stuff on top of it. And then I want to put, maybe, do I want to put, yeah, I want to put some cheesecloth on top of it. Now, I need to see, and this has been coffee stained. Come on, behave yourself. And how I coffee stained this was, I didn't even open it. I mean, I opened it, I took it out of the plastic, but then I just dunked it into some coffee, and then I took it out on the deck, and okay, that has sticky on it, so that needs cleaned. I took it out onto the deck in the whole wad and let it sit. And then it sat out there all day, and I have these really cool little curly cues and all kinds of fun things. Really dark areas, really light areas. And these little curly cues are what I want up here at the top. Like I want that piece at the top. I need to get it open a little bit more. The only bad part is it's really hard to manipulate. Like I want some of these darker areas. I want that up there. Now remember, this whole thing is going to be glued right down the middle. Just like that. Okay. And then these little scrap pieces that I'm cutting off, you know, I'll put over here on my little scrap bowl. Get off of there. And I am going to try to get that. There it is. Now, this is going to go right down the middle, and it'll get stretched out. But I'm going to put my glue on the back of this. Make sure I have my corners and my edges. Right down the middle. Now, when you do this type of spine, I don't go over the holes. Some creators do. I don't glue heavily over the holes because sometimes it will, like when I go like this, that's all I do over the holes. I don't go any further over the holes because it can get in on your pages. Okay. All right, that will hold that still. Well, maybe. Maybe. Now, I'm going to take this and I am going to put it in place just like that. And then on this side, now I'm not going to worry about that right now. I will wait. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come out here. Now, any trimming of fabric or anything like that, I will do after it dries because I don't want to pull anything. Okay, so let's get this glued down. Get it off my fingers so I don't get it on here. Make sure I'm going there. Uh-oh. I think I just glued my signatures in upside down. Oh dear. Oh, I just glued everything in upside down. Uh-oh. Let's get it off. Get it off while it's wet. Phew! Glad I checked. Holy cow. That would have been a mess. Okay. This goes this way. Down here. There we go. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad I looked. Oh, get off of there. Now we're straight. Oh, I still need to do something here on the outside. Oh my gracious sakes. Okay, on the outside, I want to do the same thing with the cheesecloth. Oh my gracious. Because I want to cover up those edges that are showing. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad I looked. Now, to cover them up, I want to use this just a little bit. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I looked. Make sure I'm going the right direction. Okay, so I need some more glue on this since I let it dry a little bit. Holy cow. Don't forget to check that everything's going the right direction. Goodness sakes. Well, there's my heart palpitations for the day. All right. Let's push this down. Jeez Louise. All right, now I'm just holding this all in place for a minute. I'm going to put the lid on that glue. Goodness sakes. Goodness sakes. Now I'm just holding everything still for a minute. Now what I will do here, after I'm done holding this still for a minute, is reach, get out my big, not Band-Aids, good heavens, my big rubber bands, and I put these around the book. Now again, after everything dries, I'll trim what I need to trim, but in the meantime, I'll put these in strategic places to hold things where they need to be. And then this will sit for several hours, because not only do I have the spine that needs to sit still, I have the signatures on the inside that need to sit still. So I can't do anything with this now. This just needs to sit. So I'm so glad you joined me today as we made my new fall journal and almost made it upside down. Hopefully I didn't. So we'll see, won't we? We will see in our next video just how well I did or did not. Oh my gosh. Seriously, you guys, my heart is pounding. It is just pounding. It would not have been the first time that I did that. I have one over there on my journal shelf that I did do upside down. But that's okay. You know, don't get too bent out of shape about perfection, because that is not what junk journaling is. Junk journaling is just about having fun and expressing yourself. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for joining me today and having some fun and creating with me. I'm really enjoying getting back into my craft room and having some fun with you guys. And I hope that you're having fun too. And I hope that you create a fall journal along with me so that we can decorate it together and we can have some fun. And on our next Ladybug Journal video, we'll start decorating it. And who knows, we might even add some new creations to our art journal, because I have some fun things picked out for it. But I just had to make this. This was on my heart, and I just had to do it. So until I see you again in my next Ladybug Journal video, ta-ta for now.